Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's Wisdom Wednesday. My name is Kristen Gear. I am the Director of Operations and Managing Director for BNI Arizona. And every single week I come to you providing a weekly education tip called Wisdom Wednesday that counts as one chapter education unit for watching. So thank you so much for tuning in to this week's edition of Wisdom Wednesday, all about featured presentations today. A couple tips, a couple things that chapters are doing around town, some do's and some don'ts, so that way you can be successful for your next big day. But before we go into the details, I wanted to remind everybody a couple things. So one, we do have a promotion right now. Any new member applications dated from October 1st to December 31st, whoever sponsors that new member into BNI will receive 1 free month of BNI membership added to their term, up to 3 free months. So that's 3 sponsored members and you get 3 free months of BNI membership, which is incredible. So make sure to invite those visitors, especially during the holiday times. That way they can jumpstart that new year in their very new BNI chapter. So make sure to spread the word, guys. So sponsor one, get one. I put a graphic on this BNI Arizona Facebook page yesterday, so that way you could all have it and you could share it. Especially share it with your fellow members, because I'm sure not everyone knows about that promotion that's going on right now. The second thing I want to remind everybody is that we have our votes out. So for our chapter awards and member awards, the votes are out, guys. So make sure to submit your vote. I sent out the email, I believe, on Monday or Tuesday. I think it was Monday, but I sent out the email regarding the voting. The voting ends tomorrow. So tomorrow, Thursday, what date is that? The 11th. So Veterans Day. So it will end tomorrow. So make sure by the end of tomorrow night, we're going to cut off all votes for those voting, because our annual award celebration is next Fridays, guys. So make sure to go on to the BNI Arizona calendar, sign up. It's from 9 to 10:30 next Friday morning. It will be on Zoom, and this will be the last year that it will be on Zoom. So we will have a live event next year. Super exciting stuff planned for you guys coming up. We also have the West Valley Mixer coming up on Thursday the 19th over at Sun City Country Club. It's going to be from 4:30 to 6:30. The details are also on the BNI Arizona calendar. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure to go onto the calendar, check it out, register for the event. Looking forward to seeing you all there. So today's education topic is going to be about featured presentations. We've had a lot of people ask questions about feature presentations, what to include in them, what are some things people are doing in their feature presentations, and there's a wide variety of answers to those questions. But one thing, if you didn't already know, one of the tools in the extended version of Member Success Program Training in BNI Business Builder, there is actually a featured presentation planning guide. I know, I'm sure most of you are like, I had no clue that there was a feature presentation planning guide. Well, I am going to upload it to this Facebook page, so that way all of you have it. I know, Dave, and I can't wait to watch your feature presentation tomorrow. So make sure to check out the planning guide, and make sure to follow these do's and don'ts that I'm going to share with you guys. There's some tips and there's reasons why behind the don'ts, and I'm going to explain why those don'ts. But here's a couple things to do. Make sure that you are specific. So a lot of times we feel that in the feature presentations, when we have a lot more than our 30 to 60 second presentation time, that we want to include all of our products and services that we offer. Now, the key thing, guys, for these feature presentations is to pick at least 3 of your key products or services to focus on in that feature presentation. If you go over too many details, I've seen a lot of members get in the black hole of trying to explain all their different products and services, and then they run out of time, and then they lose that opportunity to share the really valuable information about their business. So make sure that we're including 3, and how Bonnie likes to call them, 3 LCDs, 3 lowest common denominators of your business. You want to share at least 3. That way you're very specific and synced, and you'll be able to stay within your time frame. Now, the next do is to you can include real stories, include real testimonials in your feature presentation. Make sure to provide as many details as possible, and make sure to practice, guys. This is a key one, because you can tell when people do their presentation, they don't practice. And again, like I mentioned in the list of products or services, they go into a black hole, and then they run out of time. And then at the very last second, they're rushing to trying to figure out how to fit all the rest of their information in the time they have allotted. So make sure to practice. Make sure that the information you have is enough to fill in the time that you have available. Because when members go over past that 7 to 10 minute time frame, members tune out. It's not that you get that additional time to speak about your business, members tune out. And so we want to make sure that when you're in that time frame, that members are paying attention to your full presentation. That's what we want. We want members engaged the entire time. So make sure that you are synced with the timing, because that's the same with the weekly presentations, right? In those 30 to 60 second mini presentations. And guys, they are not commercials, they're presentations, because we're educating versus selling to everybody. But when we're giving those short little presentations, if you go way over your time, members are tuning out. As soon as that buzzer dings, members tune out. So make sure we're very on the point when it comes to timing. Timing is so important, and your presidents will love you for it. To make sure, because every piece of the agenda is done to a certain time. So we want to make sure that everything starts and finishes on time. And at the very end of your presentation, make sure to ask. Do the ask. Ask for certain referrals that you're looking for, or ask for specific connections that you're looking to be connected with. It's important that at the very end, there's a proactive piece to it that members can actively look to help out those individual members, because that's your highlighted time. That's your feature presentation, and it doesn't come very often, especially in those larger chapters. So you want to make sure that you are as specific as possible. Now, let me share with you guys some don'ts, some things not to do for your feature presentation. So one of the things is, do not skip your weekly presentation when it's your day to give your feature presentation. What I see a lot in all different chapters around the Valley, it's not one specific one, but I hear members say, and this you may or may not have seen this in your own chapter, but they stand up to give their 30 to 60 second presentation, and they say, oh, well, I'm giving my feature presentation later. You'll hear more about me later. And then they sit down. Oh my goodness, guys, that is a key piece to your visibility in your chapter. When you give your feature presentation, that's additional time that gets added into your visibility. Take advantage of every opportunity to advertise and educate the chapter about your business. So never, ever, ever, ever skip your 30 to 60 second presentation time when it's your day to shine for your feature presentation. You want to fill up all of that time because it's all about you on that specific day. So that's an advantage of being the feature presentation. You get your 30 to 60 second presentation, and you get your feature presentation time. And if you have additional visibility with other roles in the chapter, you get visibility there too. So never skip on a piece to add additional visibility for yourself within your chapter meeting. For flyers and handouts, if you guys have anything to pass out during your presentation, make sure to pass it out before the meeting starts. Because if you pass it out during your presentation, it actually takes away from the total time that you have to talk about your business. So make sure just to be pre-prepared. If you're planning on passing something out or handing something out or giving something to the members, make sure to put it on the tables prior to the meeting starting or during open networking, so that way everything is done and handed out prior to giving your feature presentation. Another big thing of not to do is asking questions at the end of your presentation. And here's why. A lot of times when we open it up for additional questions about the presentation, it could go one of two ways. One way, it could be a short, quick answer that someone has, or the opposite way, where I've seen it happen, extend a presentation an additional 5 minutes from questions because it was elaborated answer. And a lot of times when we ask specific questions, if it's too personal of an answer or it requires more details, it can extend that time a lot longer. So we want to make sure that we end the presentation with, if you have any questions, set up a one-to-one with me, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have. That is the best way to do that. Plus, then you get additional opportunities for one-to-ones. You can go into more detail about that member's questions and situations. Let's just cut the questions. We want to make sure to shift those questions over to one-to-ones. And one of the things that I've seen in several chapters that is amazing is creating a spotlight testimonial, or what some chapters call a hot seat testimonial, to where the feature presenter will select one or two members to give them a hot seat testimonial about them and their business directly after the feature presentation. What we've seen in chapters is when we go to the referrals and testimonials, a lot of times we get flooded with testimonials about the speaker, which is okay, but a lot of times people fill in the time with the testimonial for the speaker and then additional information after that. And the referral and testimonial section is intended for one item, one referral or sharing one testimonial for another member. So we want to make sure that we're very precise in that portion of the meeting as well. So if you guys chat with your leadership teams, if you're a member watching this and you're like, ooh, that hot seat testimonial sounds pretty amazing, chat with your leadership teams. And then the leadership teams can either reach out to Carolyn and myself, and we'd be happy to help kind of direct how that looks and how that will go for your chapter. And then the other thing is, oh, you know what? I already listed it because I already talked about the laundry list of services, because we don't want to include a laundry list of services. And be careful, guys, in using acronyms in your feature presentation, because you may know what those acronyms mean, but no one else in the room may know what those acronyms mean. So if you abbreviate things for your business or you use acronyms for different products or services, make sure to elaborate on what each of those items mean, so that way the entire room can get educated on what those mean as well, because that is going to be extremely important, because if you just talk acronyms, members are going to tune out because they have no clue what you're talking about. So make sure that you're talking as if you're talking to a brand new audience, and maybe even at like kindergarten level, so we're explaining it in a lot of detail, right? So those are some things to keep in mind, guys. One of the biggest things, as I mentioned, is making sure that you get all the visibility possible within the meeting. Don't skip your weekly presentation, so that 30 to 60 second presentation time on your feature presentation day. That is so important not to do. And if you guys want to check out the Featured Presenter Planning Guide, I will be attaching it to this Facebook page. That way you guys can check it out. Oh, and some members have kind of shifted the format or the order of their feature presentation to where they include the family information at the end. So all the personal information at the end. And what I love about that is that way they get all of the details about their business done first, And then they'll proceed with the family stuff. So if they run out of time, they're not getting cut off short with the business information. They're only getting cut off short with the personal information. So food for thought, just an idea that some chapters or some members have done it in that order. So it doesn't have to be in a specific order, and you could have fun with it. You could create games for your feature presentation. I've seen Jeopardy being played, trivia questions. I've seen prizes being thrown across the room for asking questions and getting answers right. So the sky's the limit, guys. And it doesn't have to be a PowerPoint presentation. It can be just you in front of the room giving a presentation. But if you're the type of business that has visual things, such as cleaning or painting, or an industry to where you could show pictures, to where members can then visually see what you do, that will definitely be important to utilize a PowerPoint presentation. And there are lots of members that would be happy to help prepare that for you as well. So reach out to your fellow members for help if you need it. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. But remember, guys, go to bniarizona.com, sign up for all these events that are coming up, and make sure to check your emails to vote. Vote, vote, vote. The voting ends tomorrow, Veterans Day, in the evening. We'll be cutting them off late tomorrow night. So you have the whole day to submit your votes. So if you have any questions about that too, let me know. And thank you again for watching this week's Wisdom Wednesday. And remember to record one chapter education unit for watching. Thanks so much, guys, and we'll see you next week.